Last time on CritNet, our group of No One Guild members found friends in the group from the competing Guild of Laughter and offered a time of drink at a proper tavern to get to know one another. But first, they turned in their contract and were met with more than just credits. A proper elven gentleman merchant named Edward Ludicius offered them his money and assistance in exchange for small favors within the fractures. They invited him along for drinks and became fairly fast friends, especially after he gifted them with a mysterious object known as Castiel's box. After long talk over tall drinks, the group left content to return home and prepare for a new day. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of CritNet. You all have now entered the Tin and Tang. You have been greeted by Dexter, or Kruz's assistant, who runs the Tin and Tang when he's not around. After acknowledging you.
Sorry, Dexter's the apprentice blacksmith, store clerk, janitor, and pretty much lives there, does anything I need to while I'm off adventuring.
Do you pay him?
With room and board and spending money.
Slave.
No, I was just making sure this wasn't like an internship where, you have to work 2 other jobs while you're, working because, they don't pay you.
I give him free room and board and spending money.
Yes, that's what all of them say. $10 a week is spending money because, you have to spend it. Whether they spend it on food because, people need to eat is another thing,
And they don't get to keep the change.
No, of course not. And it can only be at the locally owned stores by the place that they work in.
What's going on, Dexter? Do we have any good business today?
So far, nothing.
All right. Well, this is my new party from the guild. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
Greetings. I do not suppose you have a brand new short sword that is on discount, would you? Mine has been turned into upholstery.
I'm going to give Dexter the whole no discount without anybody looking.
You see him sit up, smile broadly, look at you, Kruz, smile slyly, and immediately turn around and pull a short sword off the wall and set it on the table. This is freshly made, just crafted yesterday by myself, and it has been a passion project of mine, if you will, made from the finest Ranhartian steel. This will be able to cut through nigh anything. At the small price, discounted, of course, as Kruz has just motioned to me, at 6 credits.
I'm going to tell Dexter, I'm like, no, Dexter, you've been working hard on that project. Wink. Give him one of the ones out of the glass cabinet at the end. The ones I forged.
No. This will do. This will be fine. I assure you, I have spent a lot of time making sure that this is perfect. And I need to make sure that it is put to use in the... You told me that I'll have to go test this, and I can't test it in the fracture. But if your little friends here will be able to do it for me...
Okay, Dexter, tell you what, he can buy one of my blades and he can have yours for free. Untested steel from an untested blacksmith.
You know what? Fine. You know what? Here, it's yours. Very well. I'm so glad that you got 100% discount on that. And he glares at Kruz and shakes his head.
I'm going to say buy one from the glass cabinet down there.
I guess a free short sword is a free short sword.
Dexter walks back down to the side, opens a case, picks up a short sword, brings it back. It's 10 credits.
For the free short sword?
No, for this short sword. The short sword for free is yours for free. Just if you wouldn't mind telling me how it fares down into the fracture.
Well, I wasn't planning on basically buying 2 short swords, but You know what? Why not? I recently came into some good credit.
You should leave a tip for the dude.
Yes, my tip will be buying 2 hand axes as well.
He turns, provides 2 hand axes of Kruz's make, sets them on the table. These are 5 apiece for 10 credits.
I'm going to lean into Dexter and say, Dexter, it's perfectly fine to sell your equipment to people that are not part of my team, because if your equipment fails, then I can die. And we don't want that.
I hope that you all have confidence in your apprentice who you have chosen and have been teaching.
Kruz?
Because if anything, if it does fail, it's your fault, not mine.
No, I distinctly taught you everything you need to know, but untested steel...
It is tested. I've tested it on several rocks, several pieces of equipment that we have. It has not broken yet, but I need to know how it works in the field.
So, guys, should we let the lovers have their spat?
Dexter, you can eat the mongoose.
Huum Vall, do you pay for the pieces then? 20 credits as a total?
Yes, I will pay 20 credits for the bundle, as it were.
Wonderful. 2 short swords and 2 hand axes are now yours.
There are training dummies in the back. Go ahead and try them out if you'd like. There's a sharpening wall in the back as well. Find a slot, kind of like a knife block. Slide them in. The wall will do the rest.
It is no problem. I will handle this on my own.
I'm gonna walk to the back and I'm going to put my sword and shield into the wall, and I'm going to show Ghastgar the crafting room. So you'll notice that I'll point over to the corner of the room. You'll notice a pretty high-tech workbench. It has a few very, very technical tools. You'll see a random toolbox, a helping hand, magnifying glasses, everything a crafter would need.
Interesting. Hey, Parker, do you have the box? Castiel's box. Do you have that?
Yes, I still have that.
Hey, you should bring that over here. We should take a look at this box, see if we can figure out how it works.
That is fine. Just do not break it, please.
Nah, I have no interest in breaking it. I want it to work, and I want to know how it works.
That is fine. And then I'll hand over the box.
I'd like to try and investigate the box a bit more. Now that I've got maybe a better workspace to do so than, a bar table.
All right, make an intelligence check.
Oh, that's a 1. That's a crit fail.
Would you like to use the critical gambit? For those of you who may not know, the critical gambit is a homebrewed rule we have, where if you do roll a critical fail, you are allowed to re-roll it. However, if you roll any odd number or fail the check, it upgrades to the worst possible outcome that could possibly occur.
Oh gosh. No, I really don't.
I can see the outcome. You open Castiel's box. It explodes. Game over.
No, I guess I want to be totally mystified by this box and maybe a bit frustrated.
All right. You cannot figure out the inner mechanisms of this. It just seems like it is 6 individual boxes that are almost sharing a similar space, and you can begin to maybe see how it might work, but there's absolutely no idea technically how it could work.
This thing, I get, there's a spot here where you can open it up from this side and you can put something in, but if I flip it over, I don't get it. I open up this door thinking I should go into the same spot, but it's like a different color inside. I don't understand. This box is so weird. Parker, the dude said something about maybe this is being like related to some demon dude named by name Castiel. You mean, is this something? Do you know what he was talking about? Because I have never heard about that before.
Well, the story of Castiel's box, or the story of Castiel per se, is one of a demon who was sent out to destroy everything, but instead saw the light. But where there's light, the darkness follows, and the darkness caught up to him, and once again tried to break him further. But from his ashes, he rose and defeated the people who were sent to break him yet again. There is a particular part of the poem that stands out. If I recall correctly, it goes as such. So Goddess Valia heard his plea, and let him be what he wanted to be, a protector of the land, a man who would always stand, to guard those around from all harm that is found. And as he took a human form, he found himself happy and warm. It stands out because it's the only part that calls out Goddess Valia. Perhaps maybe a gift from her to him.
And I've kind of tried to ignore the god stuff. I mean, it just doesn't matter these days, but like, who was Valia?
Huum Vall, like, snorts in the back.
You got something to say?
And you wonder why you are the only talking mongoose.
I'm curious to know, Huum Vall, what do you know of the gods?
I know that while the gods are quiet, they are more than likely not as gone. So you would do well to respect that they are still here, and more than likely still watching us.
That's when Kruz is going to go, aha, found it. And he's going to walk up and say, so we've tried a whole bunch of cool stuff in there, like a sword got turned into a carpet, a magic tech drive got turned into a spell drive. What happens if we put in a broken rifle scope?
Well, if you want to use the box, go for it.
Yeah, Edward said that we should probably be careful about how many times we use it in a day. And I mean, I'm all for the experiment here, but gosh, I think we've used it 3 times now, and it's worked out pretty good. You want to do it again? Should we do it again?
Who hasn't put something in?
I haven't yet.
Okay, I'm going to give this to you, Parker. If you want to put it in, you get to have whatever comes out. Or you can rifle over the box over there and find something broken.
Fine, if you feel so persistent about it, I'll put the broken item in the box.
Do you do so?
I do.
Oh. Okay, at this point, Ghastgar is leaning over the box, like trying to see if he can see like any energy pulsating like through any cracks or anything like that.
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay.
And at the same time, I want to like check it for actual like magic. So I still don't believe this isn't
Magical in some way?
Yeah.
The box being used has Vall's attention.
23.
Parker, roll an Arcana check.
15 plus 3, 18 on Arcana.
Please roll me a d6.
2.
All right. Please roll me a percentile twice.
58 and 76.
Ghastgar. You notice the flaps close and disappear. It's very interesting. You do see the thinnest line in the reflection of the light surrounding the box. So the flaps haven't necessarily completely disappeared. They have merely just been muted by some visualization, perhaps something that has been occurring on the inside. You also hear something with that high of a roll. It is almost like a whining from the inside, like a high-pitched sound emanating, but it's muffled, like it's coming from very deep within it. And because you're listening so carefully at the moment, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
What? That's a 7.
Where the one flap reappears. And the handles are there. Ghastgar, the small whine that you had heard, suddenly and for that instant, becomes excruciatingly close to the edge of the inside of this box, and it deafens you. And you have to take a step back in order to not continuously hurt your very sensitive Mongoosian ears.
Ah! Ah! Yeah, did you all hear that? That whine? That super loud whine?
I mean, I heard a small one, but nothing as excruciatingly as you made it seem.
I might... Is there blood coming from my ears? Because that was loud.
Aren't you always?
Kruz is going to grab some cotton and hand it to Ghastgar, going, hey, your cotton, here you go.
The ringing is beginning to subside, and you are able to surmise there's no lasting damage. It was just very loud and very close.
Now Kruz is going to nudge Parker and be like, do you think you can take it out now? Let's see what you got.
Of course. I will take the object out.
I think at this point, Ghastgar is like kind of cautiously come back over to the box and is very curious.
Parker, you open the box, and inside you find a coin. About the width that the scope was. And you do notice small glass engravings in it.
I'm going to flip the coin to Kruz.
Okay, so Kruz is going to catch the coin. I'm going to hold it up to light to see if it's like see-through through the glass. Like, is the glass like kind of like a loonie and a toonie? The Canadian coins where they're like two different colors, like a circle of silver with the center of gold, or is it like speckled through?
So the way it looks, it's about an inch thick. And holding up to light, you're able to see places where the glass shines through in what look almost like runic letters. Most of them are around the outside. Some of them, if you turn the coin sideways, run the length of the side of the coin, all the way through to the other side.
Can I hold it up to the light and see if it like shines anything down onto the table?
You do see that it does shine the markings clearly onto the table.
Can I read it?
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask everyone, can you guys read this? And I'm going to yell, Dexter, get in here.
I've been watching this whole thing. Whatever.
Stop sulking in the corner.
I was right next to you this whole time.
Sure you were.
Of course. No, I don't know what that says.
Write these markings down, Dexter.
All right, hold it to the light. And you see him grab a piece of paper and slip it underneath. And you see him begin to trace the light or the shapes of the shadows that it casts onto the paper. You see him create an exact replica of the markings upon a piece of paper.
I would like to invest. I want to check out him as he is writing or making this copy. See how good he is at this.
He's a little shaky. You do notice him miss one of the more minor details on it. It's not terribly difficult, but you do see him not do it perfectly.
Making note of that.
All right. You have successfully recorded the runes that were apparently inscribed on this via the glass through the metal.
Now I'm going to flip it to the side and see if more runes show up, and I'm going to flip it over to see if runes differ, like flipping the coin makes the runes come out and look different, or if they're just backwards.
They are backwards. However, he does take the time to record the ones that shine through the side of the coin.
Okay, and as I rotate the coin,
through the side of the coin. So like there's different runes on the side.
Yes.
So as I rotate the coin, does the runes change with the light, or
They do not change with the light.
Or with? I'm sorry. Do they change with me rotating the coin?
Yes, there are 6 different runes on the side of the coin, or at least that shine through it.
Okay.
Parker, I hate to keep picking on you, but you seem like the type that might know a bit more about this, or maybe Huum Vall, these runes or anything like that. Like,
yeah, let me look.
Yeah, mean anything to you?
Do they look familiar at all to Huum Vall?
Huum Vall and Parker, roll investigation checks first.
14 for Parker.
22 for Huum Vall.
Wonderful. Which is higher, Arcana or History for either one of you?
My history is +4, my Arcana is +3.
Okay, roll a History check.
Now, what about you, Elliot? What's yours?
Either.
Oh, they're the same.
Roll either one, History or Arcana, or just roll a d20 and add the modifier.
I won't know because that's a natural 1.
All right.
For the last 2 history checks, I've rolled a 12.
Something about these runes look familiar to you, but you're not able to place it. You have seen them somewhere, possibly in your studies in a book, but beyond that, you doesn't recall anything.
No, not even I have anything on this.
And I would suppose, actually, with that, considering your first roll, I would say, Huum Vall, you also have a very vague memory of having seen these somewhere.
They look familiar, but perhaps they were just on like a caravan sign or something. I cannot place them. By the way, Kruz, this short sword of yours, why does it have so many extra etchings on it? It is so difficult to sharpen.
That's what the wall is for. Put it in the wall.
Proprietary sharpening. It's the way they get you. You know, it's the proprietary oil in your car that you have to come back to the same place to buy. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's only 5 credits to put the sword in the wall.
Absolutely not. And he doubles down on using the whetstone to like buffer out the etchings.
But for you, it's free because you're part of the party.
Oh no, it's free this time. Next time it'll be like 30 credits. I see how it is. Huum Vall is not falling for your merchant shenanigans.
Why do are you not part of the party? Party members, free sharpening. It says so on the door. Dexter, go put a sign on the door. It says party members, free sharpening.
You see Dexter lean over to you, Huum Vall. I'm very impressed with how you know how he works already.
Oh, he works. Is he different from any other merchant?
Apparently not.
Hey, there's a sacred bond with all weaponsmiths.
Air quotes for sacred. You're about as far from God as you could be.
Oh yeah, am I a weaponsmith to you?
You're an apprentice.
Yeah, okay.
Now go put the sign on the door.
Are you And you see him just step over to the side and begin to pound on a piece of metal in a corner.
Ghastgar's gonna walk over to Dexter. Kind of a douche, huh?
Hey!
Yes, but he has taught me a lot, so I have to give him that. I am a fair blacksmith and can create what I want. It's just he doesn't acknowledge progress before becoming a full blacksmith, I think.
You deserve a tip, kid. Consider this from his coffers, and I slide him 50 credits.
He takes the stick and immediately slides it in his pocket, looks back at the piece of metal, smiles, and you see him begin to hit less hard this time and seemingly more accurate.
You pay your workers, they perform better.
He does get paid!
Yeah, a
I guess
monkey's
room
wages.
and board, as you have said.
He gets all the food he can eat. He's got a roof over his head, but he still gets a paycheck.
It is getting late by this point. You've had quite a bit throughout your day, and it is running about 6 in the afternoon to 7.
Good job, Dexter. Keep up the work. Parker, Huum Vall, let me show you to your rooms, and then I'll head down to the kitchen and start making some food. And I'm going to take them up. Well, you're still working, right, Ghastgar?
What? I don't get a room? Just because I'm a mongoose? What the heck, man? Just because I'm a mongoose doesn't mean I don't need a bed.
There's a pet carrier above the fridge. No, I'm just joking.
I pull out my knife and I chuck it at him.
With malicious intent, or
can Kruz catch it?
I think I think I'm intentionally missing, but I'm wanting to just miss is my intent. But I feel like if you want me to roll to see if I accidentally
roll
hit
an
him,
attack. Just roll an attack.
Can I roll to catch it? And if I can, what can I do?
You are not a monk.
But I'm a fighter.
So that's a 22.
22. Kruz, it nicks your ear as it flies by. Just ever so slightly. Just the slightest drop of blood slips off. You don't take any damage, and funny enough, with that high of a roll, you do hear it thunk into the wall behind you, and the whirring sounds within it as it begins to sharpen the dagger as he slipped it through one of the few sharpening slits within the wall.
Wait a second. It's my shadow glass dagger. So do I really want this glass dagger going into that? I'm not convinced.
You hear it being sharpened and or ground in some way, shape, or form. You might want to go get it.
I quickly say return, and I use a cantrip drive slot for that to have it pop back into my hand.
Okay. As it pops back into your hand, you do notice a shiny, sharp new edge to it.
Okay, good.
Kruz is going to say, wow, guess we can't take a joke. Come on, there's more rooms upstairs. So on the second floor of the building, there are 4 doors. One door has a sign that's hanging Dexter, and the 3 other doors are completely bare. And I say, these rooms are yours, guys. Choose whichever one you want. At the end of the hallway is a staircase leading up, and that my room's up there.
I have. Why do you have extra rooms in your blacksmithing shop?
Because I planned on taking on more than one apprentice. But
okay, that tracks.
But I only got one, so
I just figured you were gonna try to open like a blacksmithing shop / like dine-in, like bed and breakfast, but call it like the Bed of Iron, and
the Tin and Inn.
The tin
and inn. And there you go.
Can I throw my hat in this ring?
Go for it.
The Tin-initis.
The tin in
Oh my gosh, I suffer from tendinitis. Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've heard it here, folks, and we're going to post some kind of thing. Vote for your favorite name of the Tin and Tang, and it's going to, for some reason, be changed in the game.
It's now going to be in the tendinitis. Come, get infected here.
That's tetanus.
Yeah, that's tetanus. Tinnitus is something different, my friend.
Oh, that's the like buzzing in your ear.
Yeah.
Yes. So beyond shooting guns and naming the inn, you guys have now been directed to your rooms. Are you turning in for the night?
Oh, I'm going to shout up, is anybody vegetarian? Looking at you, Satyr.
Me? No.
You have fish?
Is my fridge stocked, or is my freezer stocked with everything? Do I have fish, or do I need to go to the market to get day-old fish?
Wait, isn't that what river mongoose eat? One sec, I'm looking this up.
In D&D, whatever the DM says.
Oh yeah, freshwater crabs, mussels, snails are my major foods, but reptiles and birds and their eggs, large insect and larvae, millipedes, various fruit.
The more you know.
What?
I can imagine that you do eat fish as well.
But often eating crabs and frogs.
Kruz, you successfully take a amount of time to prepare a wonderful chicken dinner for everyone. You all share a meal, and by this point it runs to about 8 o'clock at night. The day's excursions beginning to weigh on you at this point. And you definitely are feeling having delved into a unknown place, having all of your senses tested for several hours before making your way back. So at the moment, you are feeling pretty tired.
Kruz is going to stand up, stretch, and say, okay, Dexter, I cooked. Do you mind doing the dishes? I'm going to go to bed.
All right, fine. That's a good rule. That's a rule every household should have in their everything.
I'm going to look at Dexter and say, Dexter, do not stay up late reading. Get to bed. ASAP.
Fine.
And then Kruz is going to go up to the third story, which is also connected to the roof, and into his room and go to bed.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll lay on the bed, back, and then out of my leather vest, I will pull out a small diary. And in that diary, I want to log my several encounters of uses of magic today. One of those being watching Ghastgar use the alarm spell. And as I do so, I want to make note of my own personal interpretations of him using it, so that I did notice that when Ghastgar used the alarm spell, it was more out of paranoia. He noted that he didn't want anybody sneaking up behind us, which Parker thought was very interesting. So he jotted that down. And then a newly piece of information is Huum Vall has very much told Parker that he still believes the gods are around. That they just chose to not participate in the world, but they're still here watching. So I'll jot those two things down in my diary and then put it back inside the left side of my leather vest.
With that, you all fall asleep. It is a quiet night. Some of you more paranoid than others for reasons unknown. Parker, you fall asleep, and throughout the night, you dream of sounds of a violin, a familiar one, echoing songs that you would know from old hymn books in times long ago. It's as if you're just the sense of hearing, doing nothing, no breathing, no thinking, no living, just hearing and taking in this sound. And it resonates with you on a level you would not have previously expected from music. And that is your sleep. Huum Vall. You see characters and numbers and pieces of various literature floating about in front of you and around you. It is as if you are the personification of sight at the moment. You see all of these floating around you in a space void of anything else but these characters going in and out and around you, sometimes forming small pieces of would-be readable language of whatever they may make up, and then break apart and reform. Over and over and over again they do this, floating around and continuing. For your sleep. Ghastgar, in your sleep, you do not see, you do not hear, but you feel with your hands. What you feel are pieces of metal, things that are able to be screwed together. Sometimes they're able to connect, click, and form a new thing. And throughout the night, you are feeling components that you can naturally move from one space to the other and create into one continuous device. What it is, you do not know. What you are creating, you cannot remember. But every piece has its place. And as you go through the night, you craft this object with fervent expediency. Kruz, you do not see, you do not feel, you do not hear, but you smell. You smell the tang of iron in the air. It reminds you of your days in the army. You smell gold, that cold metal that you so wonderfully love to just keep small bits about and remember its old days' worth. The smells of a roaring forge, sulfur, and various other pieces that are used to create formidable weapons of war. And you know around you exactly where everything is by merely the sense of smell. But for you, a voice cuts through. Bonjour.
Kruz is going to shoot up.
You would love to shoot up, but a cold sensation on your neck prevents you from moving any more than a very quick inch as you feel the pointed end of a dagger placed right beneath your throat. And you feel it just barely press before you stop from impaling yourself very quickly.
Can I see who's on top of me?
Opening your eyes, you do see a pair of lavender eyes staring back down at you. You see blackened face coverings. You see blackened clothing. And the creature or humanoid standing above you at the moment has a fist wrapped around a dagger with a mildly glowing ruby at the end of it. The pointed end of the dagger placed against your throat. And as you do take her in, the voice is feminine. And you can just make out above her head what looked to be either increased volume in her hair or some kind of object attached to her head. My apologies. Do not move. We do not.
Can I get to the dagger under my pillow?
Do not make a move towards it, whatever it may be. I assure you, you will not live to reach for it or use it.
Can I look out of the corner of my eye to see if she removed the hand axe from my table?
Nope.
Okay. Can she feel where my tail is?
At the moment, you don't think that she might be able to?
Can I reach up behind her with my tail, grab her by the throat, and rip her off of me?
Okay, well.
And this is how Kruz dies. Been good knowing you folks.
All right, Kruz. Does a 24 hit you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, considering you have now made a motion against her.
Wait, how far did my tail get up?
So your tail reached about towards her back. She felt the movement beneath the blankets and immediately begins to depress the dagger deeper into your throat, of which you take 11 points of damage.
Okay.
And if you'd like, please make a strength check.
That's 22.
22. All right. You successfully forcibly remove her from you using a force movement, and you move her into the space next to your bed, of which you hear from the opposite side of your bed, I wouldn't say a word. As you can surmise, there is a second one in this room with you.
Now Kruz he's going to put his hand over the cut on his neck and just say, what do you want?
There we go. 2 things. Number 1, we need your hammer. Your hammer. The one that was given to you.
This is a blacksmithing shop.
We need the hammer that you know of. Show us where it is, or we will make this slow.
You have to be a little bit more specific, but it's probably down in the forge.
She once again raises her dagger to you. We do not have time for this. You know of the hammer we speak.
Kruz is gonna glance around. Can I perceive anyone else around me?
Please make a perception check.
So that's a 20. That's a dirty 20, but that's a 20.
Dirty 20. You would see on the opposite side of the bed a pair of blue sapphire eyes staring at you from the darkness. And at the moment, you would surmise these are the only two people besides yourself in this room. You also would notice she possesses a similar dagger. This one, however, the pommel is glowing blue with a sapphire set in the end of it.
Okay, they're weapons. Can I inspect them without actually holding them? Can I look at them and get whatever I can tell from them?
You would have felt, let's go off of being stabbed by one. You would have felt it is razor sharp. As it stabbed into you, you felt a cold pulse of energy go through your throat and nigh freeze the back of your throat, give you a horrific brain freeze. You can suspect at the moment that these weapons use some form of magitech. They are very finely crafted, ergo it cut through nigh to your bone very quickly. And at the moment, they seem to have at least one of them apiece. And another strike from one of these would most likely kill you.
Okay, so I don't want to direct them to the hammer that is really important to me. So it's gonna dawn on me that Dexter's favorite hammer is always on an upper shelf in the shop. And I'm gonna tell him exactly where that one is.
Okay.
It's in the shop, top shelf, wrapped in a cloth.
The one with the purple eyes motions for you to sit on the bed then.
I'm going to just raise myself up and put my back against the headrest.
Do you speak Infernal?
So it says broken infernal.
You hear her say, "Gu, Jik." The one with blue eyes goes to your door, opens it, disappearing down the hallway as she does. It takes about 2 minutes for her to return with that same wrapped hammer that you had sent her to go get. Opening it, it is revealed to be a finely crafted Magitech blacksmith hammer. You do see her take it, flip it over in her hand. Walking up to you, she is examining it. This is a nice hammer. Does a 15 hit you?
It beats it by 2.
She takes the hammer and cracks you over the head with it. For 6 points of damage. I don't think you know, but we are here for the hammer. This is not the one. And she tosses it onto the bed.
Be more specific. Weaponsmith shop.
The one that your father gave you.
Why would you want that?
Oh, isn't that something you would like to know? No, you will get us this new.
Well, if you want it, then quid pro quo. Tell me why.
She flips the dagger about 3 times in her hand. I will ask you just one more time. If not, I will just merely have to kill you and find it somewhere within here. Anyone in this entire place is going to die.
What's going to stop you from killing us if I give you the hammer?
Well, isn't that a question that we don't have to answer?
You're absolutely correct, but I would rather be able to secure me and my friends' lives.
She holds it right to your throat.
Kruz is going to let out a hard sigh, close his eyes, and finally say, "It's in the wardrobe."
You see her nod her head over there. The one with blue sapphire eyes makes her way over to the wardrobe, throws the doors open, finds the hammer. You see her unfold a small piece of paper next to her and begin to compare it, or looking at the hammer, and nods at the one who is at the moment holding you hostage. There. Who's that Suhad? Now, I do have one more question. What do you know of the Reinhardts?
They're all a bunch of bastards.
Ooh. As you say that, you see her head immediately shoot to the right. The hatch above your room smashes in, and you see with 3 huge thunks upon the ground, waking the rest of you up. You see 3 figures now looming out of the dust. And as they land, you see 2 flashes of purple in one streak as what seems to be 2 weapons clash against each other, one going for the one with blue eyes, the other going for the one with purple. And a shot rings out between that, hitting the doorway and going through it, streaking down the hallway as it does.
Can I grab my dagger and throw it at one of the streaks?
Okay, make a ranged attack against which one? The one with purple or the one with blue eyes?
Blue eyes.
Perfect.
So that's a 21, because that's a nat 20.
20 does hit. Mind you, that is a crit.
All right, so
Please roll damage.
can I action surge and throw the hand axe from my table following the blade?
If that is going to be your surprise round,
So
please make it.
A hand axe is a d6. So that's a 14.
14 does not hit.
Dang it.
Kruz, you have made your move. It seems your current assailants being assailed. I would like everyone to roll initiative.
12.
Ghastgar, get off my rolls.
My dexterity bonus is a 4. What do you have?
I have a 3.
So I have an 8. Oh, sorry, a 9.
Parker.
Oh no, I have a 9 as well.
Wow. Who has the higher dex?
Oh, I have a +5 in dex, so for sure me.
What? You have a +5. I have a +1. So yes, you do win.
It's a +3, not +5. I was looking at my dex save, not my dex modifier. But still.
Come on, Riggs.
You still win.
Rookie mistake. Yeah, I know I still win, but still.
Kruz. As these new combatants have now entered your room through what seems to be similar means as the other ones, though this time not making any attempts at hiding. The 2 thieves who have now turned to face these new assailants. You see the one with purple eyes hiss and say, this time in common, "What?" And you see her level her dagger at one of them. "This is not your fight." That will be Purple's as she takes a step away from you and positions herself between the back window and these new assailants. The one with blue eyes now immediately begins to do the opposite motion, moving to the opposite side, this time saying similar. "There is no reason for you to be here. Why?"
Can I see where I stuck blue eyes with my dagger?
Yes, you see it protruding from what seems to be some underneath armor. Though, given her movements not being hindered by it, you can surmise it has not done a significant amount of damage.
Okay.
And you see her actually produce a small vial and begin to shake it, and she will hold her action. You see, similar from Purple, however, this one is a bluish tint to it. And you hear a cracking sound as she begins to shake it. Next, these new assailants. As they begin to move towards you, Kruz, 2 of them now brandishing purple glowing swords with various runes strewn in and through them. One now beginning to look at you. You see its eyes, or what it would be eyes, glowing a clear blue. And they immediately turn away from you. One beginning to move to the first assailant, and the second one moving to the other. The one, however, with the ranged weapon, it seems, levels it at you. Does a 13 hit you?
No.
Unfortunately, as he fires, you're able to move out of the way as fast as possible, and the bolt of light that shoots through it burns a hole through your bed down to the floor.
An expensive bed.
The first one going to the right will make a swing upon the girl. It seems as though this humanoid, who now in this dim light, you're able to see a metal sheen about them. You've worked with a lot of metals, and it's as if it is a blackened metal, perfectly polished and sharpened. And as the first one crosses over your bed to meet one of the two thieves, through a quick parry, she is able to deflect the assault from this humanoid. However, the one moving towards the purple-eyed is met with a much faster swing, and you see a small trail of blood leave as he lands a hit on her arm. And with the shot taken, Ghastgar, the sound of a gunshot echoes through the tin and tang.
Do I know what direction it's come from?
It sounded upstairs.
I've got a belt with the guns in their holsters that I can just pick up and throw on, and like my gun has got my hunting rifle has got like a strap that I can sling it over my shoulder. So I'm gonna do that while yelling to the others, making sure that perhaps by some stretch of fate, like they hadn't woken up yet. Fight! Get on it, guys! Parker, Huum Vall, wake up! As I'm just yelling that as I'm getting myself on, and I'm running towards where the action is.
Right. With a move action, you're able to get halfway up the stairs where you're beginning to hear metal on metal attacks. And it's very strange. You're hearing as though it is multiple people fighting and not just one.
Getting halfway, does that get me to a spot where I can see what's going on?
So like the ceiling of the room, but you're not able to make out any people.
I think I would use a firebolt cantrip. My attempt to this is just to like disrupt. The way that I would imagine this working is through using my gun as the instrument of like I pop in a cantrip drive, I press a button that's on the rifle, and it essentially turns into a flamethrower. A spout of flame comes shooting out of the gun, and this ball of fire strikes the ceiling.
All right. Huum Vall, you are awake. You have heard a gunshot, and you've been called to action.
Vall's gonna grab a hand axe and get a move on and move as stealthily as he can.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
That is a 22 on stealth.
22. All right. Very good. Very good. Your movement speed is 40, correct?
35.
35. You're able to also make it to where Ghastgar is. As you see a flame begin to spout up the stairs.
All right, was that a single move action?
I'd say bonus action then. Pick it up. If it's just your hand axe, one weapon.
Yep.
Okay, one weapon, you're able to use a bonus action to pick it up.
All right.
Okay, then move action to get near Ghastgar. And with your standard action, you are doing what?
I guess I'll proceed the rest of the way so I can get a bead on what my targets are.
Getting into the room, you do notice a scene. You notice Kruz bloodied at the moment. In the middle of a fray, you notice two assailants fighting each other, two to your right, two to your left, and one of them with a smoking gun standing just in front of you beneath a now broken skylight, or now broken hatch leading to the outside. A fresh bullet hole through the bed next to Kruz.
All right,
and it's trained on him.
I'm going to hang out next to the guy who has the same weapon Ghastgar does, apparently.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if he is going to dare to fire with an unknown assailant right next to him.
Okay. Parker.
With hearing Ghastgar run down the hallway yelling at everyone to get up, I will proceed to grab my violin and my rapier.
Okay.
Will that be my bonus action or my movement too?
You can grab one or the other as a bonus, but if you're going to grab both, it's going to have to be a standard.
I'll grab my violin then.
Okay.
And then my movement action will be to run out and down the hallway where the other two ran. And then I will also use my standard action to dash the rest of the way.
Meet into the room. You run across a similar scene. Where would you like to position yourself? You have assailant 15 feet to your right, 15 feet to your left, a bed 10 feet in front of you with a injured Kruz on it, and another assailant 5 feet beyond that at the moment being harried by Kruz. Being harried by Huum Vall.
As I scan the room and I see Kruz kind of hurt, I'll run to the side of the bed and kind of take up a position to protect him, possibly.
Kruz, you know that at the moment, your friends are entering the room and entering this, whatever it may be. Your battle-hardened mind would recognize something. They are unarmored.
How far away is my wardrobe?
It's 10 feet from you.
Is anybody between me and the wardrobe?
No, sir.
Okay, so they smashed through my roof.
Yes.
There was a sword fastened next to the hatch. Where'd that go?
It is undisturbed.
Okay, there's also a sword next to my door. Is that in reaching?
10 feet to the wardrobe, 5 foot to the door.
Then I'm just going to leap for my sword and get that so I can arm myself.
You have now armed yourself with using 15 feet of movement and a bonus action to grab the one weapon. You have 15 feet of movement left and an action. What do you do?
Or who can I reach?
At standing, you have 15 feet of movement left, therefore you can reach any one of the 3 targets if you want.
Can I reach Blue Eyes Girl specifically?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to reach her and attack her. Does a 22 hit?
22 does hit.
James in it for the hurt tonight.
That's 9 damage.
Being harried by this other humanoid, her attention was not on you as you armed yourself quickly, ran forward, and she was not able to react fast enough as you're able to score her across her side.
Who has my hammer?
That would be Blue.
Can I use that attack to knock my hammer out of her hand?
No, that is a disarm, but you've already hit her.
Okay, I'm going to inform Huum Vall and Parker very loudly so it echoes down into the hallway that we need to focus on the thieves and deal with the automatons later. I'm assuming they're automatons.
All right. Bold assumption.
I'm going to put the importance on getting the hammer.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, Chris. Or excuse me, not Chris. James.
Saving throw. So 16?
16 is enough to pass. You meet. As she throws the vial to the ground after your attack, it explodes and covers the area in 20 feet of fog. However, you do not take any cold damage that would have been associated with this. As the vial explodes, you see her begin to move away from you and disappear into the fog. Make your attack of opportunity, if you so desire.
Okay, I desire 23.
23 does hit.
That's 12.
The creature also makes impact, though not as effective as yours. And she fades into the mist that has now encompassed the room.
Okay, there's got to be blood on the floor. People look for the blood.
At the same time, I need Huum Vall, make a dexterity saving throw for this one.
Dexterity saving throw is a 23.
23. Out of the corner of your eye, you see her make a very fast motion to the ground, and there's a crack and a kind of sucking in of air, and you see it sparks and flames and cinders just billow out into the area around you. So now in half of it, you have this very thick fog. And the other side, you have this very black smoke. And at the moment, there is no longer visibility except for 5 feet around you. And you hear a large whiff, as if something was swung through the air to your left, Huum Vall. The gunman in front of you begins to stand up and make his way away from you. Please make your attack of opportunity, if you'd like.
Why not? He's unaware of me?
Because of your stealth check to move with... No, he is not aware of you. Okay, you are allowed sneak attack on this.
Huzzah! Time to ask him a question. My higher of the rolls was a 22 to hit.
22 does hit.
7 on the slash with a 6 on the sneak attack for a total of 13. As he moves away, I just slide the hand axe out in front of his eyes and I pull it back sharply.
The bluish eyes beneath do not blink at this. And you also notice that the mark you've made does not seem to have been made deep, as if it would have been made to flesh.
Obviously not a flesh and bone being, right?
Correct. For the time being, at least whatever armor these humanoids are wearing is not allowing them to be attacked via their inside. Fading into the mist, though, Kruz, a 19 hits you, correct?
Yep.
You take 8 points of damage
Ooh, I am down to 1 HP.
as you see a blue light begin to glow from your right side, and at 9 point blank, a bullet is fired, and it impacts with you, and you can feel yourself beginning to fade. The situation is becoming dire. The other one will search for the now disappeared thief. Unable to see. Kruz.
Oh, god dang it.
In the thief moving away, you would have watched this other metallic humanoid strike at her, hitting her slightly. You two as well, getting a fairly solid hit. But as she disappears into it, you see it turn to you.
The automaton?
The automaton. And in one streaking motion, cut across your chest for 7 points of damage. And through the white mist, your world goes black. Ghastgar. The world is enveloped in fog and smoke. What do you do?
Well, I want to finish getting into the room. Like, does that use up the rest of my movement?
Yeah, that uses your movement to get 10 feet to the door, and then you're able to do from that wherever you'd like.
Okay, what can I see?
You can see to your right black smoke and to your left white fog, and this very strange mixture of them within the center. You would have heard the call out of Kruz from the left side, being the only verbal cue.
Okay, I think I would finish trying to do my movement going that way. Do I see anything emerge out of the mist as I go left into the room?
At your feet, you would find a bleeding Kruz and a large metallic humanoid with a purple glowing sword, very much dripping with Kruz's blood.
Okay, I use Firebolt on that.
Roll to hit.
19.
19 does hit. Meets AC.
So 6 fire damage?
Your firebolt careens into this creature, and you do not see it move as it impacts the chest. Huum Vall, it is up to you.
So all I know is that these middlemen are not taking as much damage as I would hope.
Correct.
Since I'm currently not being observed, I will take this opportunity to reapply my stealth.
Please roll for stealth.
Right, that is an 18.
With situational advantage.
Woo! And that's an 18 on the die for a 25.
Very good.
Yep, bonus action to head.
And making your way, you do run across him at the moment, standing next to the unconscious body of Kruz.
I have nothing else to do here but take a swing at his neck. So with the advantage, a 22. The other one was a natural 1.
Wonderful. 22 will hit.
Hand axe, wonderful hand axe. For 9 points of damage.
You do make impact on the creature. And once again, it does react to the hit, just not as severely, which leads us to Parker.
I watched Kruz and Huum Vall kind of leap into this fog cloud then.
No, you watched,
Ghastgar, sorry. Yeah, Ghastgar and Huum Vall.
by this time you're probably seeing my puddle of blood come under the fog.
And at this point, all the enemies are inside the fog cloud then, yeah?
Yes.
Then I'm going to go running in.
Okay. Are you going to be running to the left or to the right? You did hear Kruz's call out to the left.
I'll head to the right.
Heading to the right, about 15 feet, you run across an onyx humanoid with glowing blue eyes and a sword at the moment that is in fact wet with some form of blood and is staring out what would look to be the window leading out of the room towards a wall.
The moment I see him, I'm going to run my violin and cast a spell. The spell, Dissonant Whisper, so I need him to make a wisdom save.
In casting a spell, he will get an attack of opportunity against you.
That's fair.
Does a 15 hit?
Yes.
You take 5 points of damage as he swings out towards you. What is your DC?
DC is 14.
It passes.
Okay, so then it will take half of 15 damage as I run up to him, or run into him per se, and just place the bow across the violin strings and just saw a hideous noise.
As you do this, you do see it seem to move slightly to the music or to the sound. It seems as more it's adjusting to now having a new person beside it rather than it was affected by your attack. And with that, Kruz, I need you to make a death saving throw.
Are there any modifiers to this?
No.
Did that just happen? I just rolled a nat 20.
Okay. Well, you regain 1 hit point.
Woohoo, I'm at 1!
What do you do?
I cough because I have my neck cut open and blood spurts up and I flick my eyes open and I'm hoping nobody notices me, but I'm going to continue to lie there because I definitely see, I think, Ghastgar, Huum Vall, and Parker around me, right?
You don't see anything.
No, you do not see Huum Vall. You only see Ghastgar. And please make a deception check.
Okay, that's plus charisma. 11.
A turn is taken, and as your eyes flicker open, Kruz, you see the creature standing above you, looks down to you, meets with your eyes. Does a 13 hit you?
So yeah, it's 11, so it does hit me.
The deception check was to see if you were able to pull off playing dead. However, the creature once again brings his sword down upon you. Ghastgar, you see this happen. However, as this occurs, you see the one holding the gun stand up straight and begin to move away. Huum Vall, he is leaving your threatened square, heading past you.
I'm going to keep swinging at these until one of them either stops functioning or they leave.
Okay. Roll to hit.
That's a natural 19 for a 24.
That will hit.
I do not get sneak attack.
I don't think you need it.
Yes, I do. Yeah, because that's only 8 points of damage, which is probably less than that.
Give him a good crack on the back of the head as he walks by. Doesn't seem to pay you much mind for it.
God, these things are beefy.
Yep.
Parker, the one that is harrying you, this onyx creature, turns from you and wanders away into the black smoke and disappears. Ghastgar, it is up to you.
So I can still see the one automaton.
Yes.
I want to shoot that sucker now.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Dang, that ain't gonna do it. That is a 7.
7 misses, unfortunately. It's the one miss of the night, though, for your people, so daggum, good job, because geez and frack.
I would have missed twice already if I hadn't been hiding.
Yes, but you have hit, so therefore you are dealing significantly more damage to these creatures than I would have previously anticipated. So good on you people, very good. Is that it?
I guess so.
All right, Huum Vall.
It is time to go on the hunt again. And so I will prowl forward, I guess, and I have no one adjacent to me, correct?
Nope.
Sneaking my way downtown, walking slow in the darkness. I rolled a 14.
After exhausting 35 feet of movement, you do not see the creature that you were following. You do see the ladder leading up to the skylight, and you can surmise the creature has exited the room.
Well, all right. I will make my way up there, I guess.
Using your double move, you are able to make it to the roof. And you do see the creature now. It is beginning to make its way with intent to the left, drawing its weapon kind of to its side, almost like it's readying to rush after something, looking intently down.
All right. Death golems. All right.
Parker.
Am I close enough to hear that Kruz coughed and then was attacked again?
I would say so, yes.
I would like to blindly head in that direction.
Roll a d6, please.
6.
You run into the creature to your left before you run into Kruz. And you can surmise, given the creature has a sword out, that Kruz is very close around him unconscious. You are able to make one more move to the left, if you'd like, and reveal the body of Kruz unconscious on the ground.
I'll do the same thing that I did before as I'm blindly running through the fog again. Draw my bow, slam it against my violin strings, and saw away. And I will also cast again Dissonant Whispers. So I know the wisdom save.
It passes and seems also less than affected.
Well, he'll take half of 12.
Well now, Kruz, please make a death saving throw.
Oh, I'm not going to get lucky. 12.
Add 1 pass. Now, back to the top of the order. Huum Vall, you hear something next to you as one of these other onyx beings, having also come up, begins to run off the side of the roof. The one to your left does the same, but on the opposite side. And you see them begin to leap to the ground, but you do not hear them land. What is your passive perception?
16.
With a 16, you would see the very faint glowing aspects of them on the ground, though it seems they landed without a sound. You also would see behind you as Parker and Ghastgar, the one harrying Kruz at the moment, turns on its heel and begins to walk away. Walking over the bed, past everything and up the ladder to the roof. Huum Vall, you see this also rise behind you, and you see it begin to take a turn to the right.
Quick question.
Yes.
While it was climbing the ladder, did it stow its weapon?
Yes.
So it's not currently being directly attended, correct?
Its weapon is on its person, but not being held.
All right.
Deal it.
That's kind of my plan to see if I can do it before this thing gets away. Unless and on this turn it can actually go and hop off.
With 60 feet of movement, it will be reaching the top of the ladder.
All right. And that's where I've been hanging out. So on my next turn, I will attempt to lift its sword off of it.
It will make its way 20 feet to your right and not make any aggressive action towards you, though it does seem to have a definite direction that it is heading.
Now that I have a better view of it, does it have any distinguishing marks?
At your passive 16, I can tell you this. You notice that along the shoulder blades, you do see light blue glowing lines. Along its eyes, you are also able to deduce that there are glowing pupilless eyes, or what look like almost like carved eye slits. They do not display anything that would tell where it is looking. There is no nose and there is no mouth on these creatures, as it seems they have a faceplate of some sort. And as it passes by you, you cannot help but note how quietly they move. If you'd like any more information, you may make a perception check on your turn.
Or check out a book at my local library.
Or do that.
Oh, hold on. Does anybody recognize that? Do they look anything like the two I have holding up the sign in front of my shop?
No. They're not smaller versions of that. Ghastgar.
Okay. Do I have... is there still anybody within eyesight of me?
There is Parker now and the unconscious Kruz.
I think I would like to attend to my friend first and foremost. So my dying friend here, I'd like to see if I can do anything for him medically.
Do you have any form of regenerative ability about you or a medicine kit?
Isn't the flower that Merdina gave me able to do something?
It is. You would know that Merdina did mention that it's the small polyp in the center of it.
Okay.
That is like a berry and can be eaten.
Okay. I'm going to shove that into his throat and force feed it to him.
Okay, roll a d8.
Who, me or Ghastgar?
Ghastgar.
That's a 4.
4. Kruz, you awake. A tingling sensation rising through your throat to the rest of your body as it feels like nothing but pins and needles being kind of shoved out through your finger and toe tips as you regain all of your feeling.
Oh, good. Okay, you're awake. Don't die.
Yell for Dexter to bring the med kit out of the shop.
Dexter! Wake up, you imbecile! Get the med kit!
Huum Vall, having things within the room itself being taken care of. What are you doing?
The last automaton is still at the rooftop?
Yes.
His weapon is not in his hand.
Not at the moment. It seems as though he's preparing to jump.
So here's a weird definition. Can I steal as an attack of opportunity?
No.
Then I will move and make my sleight of hand. That is a natural 16 on roll for 21.
A 21. You successfully slide the weapon out of the sheath.
Maybe like, just as he's about to jump, I just kind of hook it by the hilt. And as he hops, it just stays in my hand.
He hasn't moved yet, but you have removed his weapon successfully from him and now hold it in your grasp.
Eat him with it.
It is a long sword, and it is black and curved, and you do notice it doesn't fit well in your hands. It is usable, but not comfortably. The purple lines that break through the blade like spider webs begin to glow a little brighter with your hand.
Odd. I'm going to use my bonus action to withdraw.
Where are you going?
Back to the ladder. So yes, this will be my cunning action.
Parker, it is up to you.
I'm going to turn my attention to Kruz, actually. I'm going to cast a healing spell at him.
What are you casting?
I'm going to hit him with Cure Wounds.
All right. Playing a song of...
A song of healing.
What song is this specifically?
It is, what is it, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees?
Perfect.
Kruz, you'll heal for 11 points.
Okay. Well, is that all you shall do, Parker?
Yeah, that's it.
Kruz, you are awake. You have been healed twice.
I am sitting up.
Huum Vall, the creature in which you have stolen the sword from, it stops and turns to you. You see its eyes change in intensity. However, not just in a gradual amount, but in a series of flickers, one after the other, some fast, some slow, before it eventually turns and leaps from the roof down.
All right.
Just as you disappear or into the room from the roof. And with that, combat has ended. Huum Vall, you have retrieved a very interesting piece to this very strange event. Something perhaps that might shed a little light upon what the heck just happened.
Indeed. And as of right now, I'm going to return it to its proper owner and go over and stab Kruz again.
And this is where we learn the true Huum Vall. He's been planning this the whole time.
The automaton obviously is not smart enough for the people puzzles, so I will go put the key back into the hole that is Kruz multiple times until he stops screaming.
Don't stab Kruz.
Why not? I believe this is literally the Kruz blood-covered blade.
I don't want my blood back.
Yeah, if I stab you with your own bloody blade, is it not good for you? Or does it just why can't I get it off of my blade? Please, I keep stabbing it. Does it work?
Why is more of your blood coming out? Why is your blood not going back inside? I'm using the same application method.
That's not how it works.
Doctors are hacks. Clerics all the way.
Oh yeah, no, Dexter comes flying into here, stopping at everyone right now, some of you being injured, and making his way to Kruz very quickly, begins to take out various bandages and gauze, emptying the contents out as fast as he can, bandaging up Kruz fairly well. You also see that he is, at least at this point, fairly adept at first aid as well.
I can definitely see Dexter looking at me and going, well, you just made a bloody mess now, didn't you?
I'm sorry, but Ghastgar is slowly and surely really coming to appreciate Dexter, and I'm going to forcefully backhand the slightly dying man.
Okay. You do see in the look of Dexter a look of pure terror and honest like fear as to the current state that you are in, Kruz. He does not seem to have any will within him to make a joke at this, and is very honestly concerned with you dying in front of him.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and say, take a deep breath. I'll make it through this.
What are you making it through? What happened?
It's just a few bumps, bruises, and lacerations. Apparently, somebody wanted the hammer. They hired a couple of thieves.
Someone wanted the hammer.
Dexter, don't look at me like that. You know what hammer I'm talking about.
No, I know what hammer you're talking about. Did you not just give it to them?
Well, I tried to give him yours first. It's on the bed.
Oh. Why does it have blood on it too?
It kind of came in contact with my head.
Oh,
It's a hammer. Clean it.
okay.
Magic Tech hammers are not cheap. Just clean it.
Okay.
Or infuse my blood into a weapon, whichever.
Okay.
Made with real blood, sweat, and tears.
Literally.
And you see him begin to very stiffly walk out the door.
I'm gonna be like, are you going to finish bandaging me?
Oh no, you're finished bandaging before he leaves your side to go even check out his hammer. You are completely bandaged.
Am I like bandaged like a mummy, like overdone, or?
No, you are very strategically, very cleanly bandaged. He knew exactly what he was doing and managed to keep you in as working order as possible. You have definitely a kind of chest wrap going, and both of your arms are definitely fairly mummified. But beyond that, you...
Does anybody else want Dexter to join our guild?
He's the assistant. If I didn't have him here at home, we'd be in a lot of trouble.
He might be more useful to us in a dungeon than having him squander his life in your sweatshop.
Okay, first off, it's a blacksmithing shop. If you're not sweating, you're not doing it right.
Hashtag free Dexter.
Dexter Prez.
What? Did I hear that?
What? No, he's not a slave. I pay the man.
Indentured slave.
That's at least what you say on tax forms.
Is my window broken?
2 of them, yes.
Do I see any blood leaking out of one? Because I know for a fact I hurt Blue Eyes.
Make an investigation check.
Oh, I rolled a 4.
At the moment, as you begin to poke around, some of your bandages begin to leak, and you're not exactly sure whether or not it's your blood or her blood that you're finding, because you shouldn't be going around moving things after now almost dying twice.
Idiot, lay back down.
Does anybody else want to look for that Blue Eyes chick's blood? Because she has my hammer.
I don't care about your hammer. Lay back down.
So, not to brag, but look what I have.
Can I inspect the longsword?
I mean, you had many rounds to inspect the longsword as you were being stabbed by it. This very one, tainted with Kruz blood.
Look, if you let me look at it, then you can keep it. But since it's got my blood on it, I think it's mine.
No, it is partially covered by you. Technically, if I stab you again, you are a sheath, which I would get for free. But yes, Master Blacksmith, please take a look at the strange sword that has been inside you multiple times.
Yeah, I think I have a very intimate relationship with it.
Kruz, please make an intelligence check with advantage.
Both 14s. So that's 15.
15 would give you enough to know that this is unlike anything you've ever seen made.
Is it Magitech?
It is.
Yeah, what level drive's in it? Does that tell me at least?
Yes, it does. It's a 2nd level Magitech drive.
Can I take the drive out?
Not at the moment.
I'm going to give the sword back to Huum Vall and say it's exquisitely made. It's got a level 2 Magitech drive in it. I would strongly suggest putting it in the wall and letting it get cleaned up and you keeping that blade.
When it transferred between my hand to Kruz's, did that glowing stop or start?
It stopped as soon as it left your hand and started once it reached his.
Okay.
So it glows on contact.
On wield?
It would seem.
Kruz is going to crack a joke. It glows on wield. So if you stab me and let it go, it'll light me up like a glow stick.
Can I test this?
It's like it's like one of those old Looney Tune things where they get shot with a bunch of bullets and they're like, haha, you didn't touch me, and then drink like a thing of water and all of the water leaks out through like the 15 bullet holes.
Clear, you actually got a chance to watch good cartoons?
Yeah, Looney Tunes is the best. I have like 18 of the freaking seasons. It's the best. It's the best kind of old ones. The old ones are the best. But anyway, with knowledge now, at least a little bit clearer of this weapon, the cold breeze, eventually the fog and smoke both dissipate, leaving no trace behind. The broken glass vials also lay upon the ground, and through the gentle breeze, through the broken window, into the dead of night, an uneasy silence pours through. And that is where we will continue in the next episode. Until next time, I'm your DM, Sawyer. Follow me and the show on Twitter at crit_n_it. And remember to never stop telling stories.